If your horse is resistant to coming through from behind, switches behind at the canter, for instance, switches leads, doesn't want to take the proper lead that you're requiring him to do, not sort of looking uneven gait, not wanting to come through in one hind leg, I would recommend looking at the muscles that extend the hock. Again, muscles, when tight, interrupt the release process of the muscle tissue. So the hock muscle, it's a very small muscle with a big job. It's only here. It attaches up here at the femur. I'm going to the origin of it, which feels a little bit ropey on him. And this is the lateral side of it. The medial side is right here. He's a good boy. He's a very good boy. Right here. Lateral side is here. Again, let's say he needs to pick up the right lead at the canter. He's got to bend this hock underneath his body in that one phase of the stride to go to the right. If this is very, very tight, what this muscle does is it extends the hock or brings the hock back, brings the leg back. All muscles are affected by muscle tightness. All muscles affect, the release process of the tissue. It doesn't let go if it's tight. So if it's very tight, it's not going to let go to bend the hock or flex the hock forward. So how you want to work it is you want to come to this little groove here. You'll see the hamstrings coming down, and there's a groove here. The fibers run this way. I kind of made it blurry by working on it, but here it is, right here. I cross the fibers with a couple of fingers, like that. If it's very tight, it's going to feel like a guitar string. It's going to feel almost like bone. And then I come down the little muscle here on his leg, and I try and do compressions on it like this with my 3 fingers. I go back, I cross these fibers, and then I come on the inside, and I do the same thing, pulling across, pulling across. See if we could get that there, like this. Pulling across that tissue, and then coming down on the inside like I did on the outside or the lateral side. Most often, the medial side feels fairly soft and pliable. If you see or feel the lateral side and the medial side severely tight, it may suggest that the joint itself is compromised. That's when you would call a veterinarian. But typically, this is very tight on the lateral side because it's used a lot. It's used in every discipline at every level. So the more you use it, the tighter it's going to be. It will affect horses that do upper level work in dressage, for instance, in passage and piaffe and canter pirouette. It will affect hunters and jumpers because if this is really tight and they're jumping, they've got to bend or flex their hock to go over the jump. They will knock a rail or rub a rail if this gastrocnemius is tight. That's the name of the muscle. I forgot to say that. It's called the gastrocnemius. It's got a long name. The name is actually longer than the muscle itself. That's already loosened on him. Some other reasons why it gets tight is the joint may be a little sticky, and this muscle has to work harder because it attaches to the joint. It's got to work harder. If it works harder, then it's going to get tight. If the stifles are weak, this has to bear the load of a weak stifle, so this will get tight because it's working and making up and carrying the load for its neighbor, which is right here. If this is weak, this will always be tight. So those are some of the reasons a hock will be tight. It will sometimes manifest in the lower back, okay? And this hock feels very, very good right now. So all you do is go right in here, cross the fibers, little compressions down here, again come up into this groove. I have this all photographed in my book, Keeping Horses at Their Best. It's a hands-on guide for equine sports massage, and it tells you a very easy to follow manual as to how to work on this, where is it, what does it do, what's the causes, and how long to work on it. They're all color photos too, which make it easy. So there, that's already loose. Again, this method, because it's anatomically accurate and we use physiology by stimulating some of the receptors, the results are immediate because you're implementing the neuromuscular system of the horse to create the change rather than you. You're facilitating the change and you're letting the system of the horse create the change. So that's good. Good boy, Dove.